You should be good to go. You're good.
Okay, welcome everyone. Tonight, this is the Zoning Board of Appeals, October 9, 2025. I'd like to welcome everyone, our guests and all the commissioners tonight. And Noreen, could you give us the roll call?
Sure.
Thank you.
Commissioner Basham,
Here.
Commissioner Donald,
Here.
Chairman Dunning,
Here.
Commissioner Hewell, Commissioner Lucas.
Here.
Online. Okay. Commissioner Polakowski.
Here.
And Commissioner Kane.
Here.
You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we'll move into public participation. Is there any,
The public participation on non-agenda items.
right?
If anyone is in the room that would like to discuss that, that's fine. There is no one online, Ms. Chairman.
Okay, anyone, any open comments of any kind? Nothing? Okay, hearing none, we'll move right into our public hearing for tonight.
I will read the public hearing notice into the record.
Yes, please.
Required. Zoning Board of Appeals, notice of public hearing, October 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Notice is hereby given that the Newington Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing in the council chambers, room 103 at Town Hall, 200 Garfield Street, Newington, Connecticut, on Thursday, October 9th, 2025, to consider the following petition. CBA 25-3 requesting a variance of 3 feet from section 4.5 table A of the Newington zoning regulations to reduce the side yard setback on the southerly side of the house from 10 feet to 7 feet for a second-story building addition to an existing garage at 52 Elton Drive in the R12 zone. Applicant owner Rachel D. and Jeffrey Ossick. Contact Jeffrey Ossick. This public hearing will be a Zoom webinar hybrid meeting. Information on how to attend will be posted on the town website at link. Submitted Eric S. Hinckley, Assistant Town Planner, ZEO, and this ran in the rare reminder on September 25th and October 2nd.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
We'd like to, at this time, we have the applicant
Yep.
come forward. State your name and then you can begin to give us some details, your name and address, I think, for the record.
Is that good?
It's on. You can just.
Okay.
Yeah. And just so you know, Jeff, I do have your survey up so they can see
Okay,
it.
perfect. All right. I put together a little opening statement. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jeff Ozak and I currently reside at 52 Elton Drive with my wife, Rachel, and our daughter, Josephine. We purchased our home in 2020 and over the past 5 years, we've worked hard to make it a place where our family can truly grow. We love our neighborhood as they are represented here, 2 of my favorite neighbors, and it's a great neighborhood. We're within walking distance of Main Street and Mill Pond Park, and we see a bright future here for our family. In January, we will be welcoming another daughter to our family, and the need to expand our home quickly became a priority. Our house is currently a Cape-style residence with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, totaling 1,142 square feet. The existing bathroom and spare bedroom are located on the first floor. Our proposed plans include adding a half dormer off the back of the second story to create space for a second bathroom, as well as a hallway and closet leading into a new master bedroom and bathroom above the existing single-story garage. This design was carefully planned to be both economical and minimally invasive, as it does not increase the home's footprint or require major site work. When we purchased our home in 2020, the garage was already in place, having been constructed many years prior under different zoning requirements. Since that time, zoning regulations have changed and the garage now lies within 10 feet of the neighboring property line. This prevents us from being able to get a permit and having to go through this process. The hardship that we are facing is that the placement of the garage is a longstanding pre-existing condition that we did not create. Because the garage was legally built before our ownership, we are unable to reasonably expand or improve our property without relief from the setback requirement. Our intent is not to increase the footprint of the structure, but simply to build upward within the same footprint that has existed. Granting this variance would allow us to make practical use of the property in a way consistent with the character of the neighborhood while not creating any new encroachments or altering existing setbacks. The addition will be designed to meet all applicable building and safety codes, and we will work with the town to ensure the project has no negative impact on neighboring properties. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is your opportunity now to ask the applicant any questions you have. Get those answered.
So I'll open it up to the commissioners.
I had a question for Eric. So this is a situation where the side yard setback was changed, it was originally 5 feet.
That is correct.
Do we know when that happened?
I think I kind of bracketed in there between 1977 and 87. When that zone change took place. I believe there was actually two zone changes over time to that area.
What was the other one?
As originally stated here, it was original A1 residential district, and then it changed to the R10. Now it's currently the R12.
And that meets the R12,
What does?
this lot size.
The lot size? Yes, this one it does, 16,000 square feet.
Any other commissioners with questions?
Yeah, what is the special condition or circumstance peculiar to the land structure or building involved, which are not applicable to other land structures or buildings in the same zone?
So being that the garage has been pre-existing, it's already encroached over that 10-foot line, 3 feet. So we're not going to be going any farther. We're simply just going on top of the existing structure.
I would, in your defense, I would say that the garage didn't encroach. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
So like, what is peculiar about the land structure or building compared to the other land structures or building in the same zone?
I'm not sure if I know how to answer that. I'm not sure if I understand the
That's
question.
first
Yeah.
factor for the variance. Did you read section 8.1.3?
I don't have a copy of it with me, actually.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Okay, so number 1 says that special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land structure or building involved, which are not applicable to other land structures or buildings in the same zone.
Again, I'm sorry. I don't know if I understand the question. I'm having a hard time with it. Can I have a copy
Okay.
of the itinerary, please?
What do you say? I'll bring it in.
What section are you looking at?
Page 3, right?
8.1.3.
Oh.
A1.
So what he's looking at is.
It's a special condition.
And that could be, bring that to topography.
Again, I think my answer to this question, the special condition was that the zoning had changed. So originally it had been a different setback, and the condition and circumstance that exists now is different. And that's peculiar to the situation that we're in.
Okay, so you're saying that the change in the regulations is essentially the cause?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Could you put an addition off the southeast corner of the house?
It is possible.
Okay.
Yep,
Did you consider that?
I did.
That is where the addition is going, isn't it?
I think he's talking about the other opposite side of the house.
That would be the northeast.
Yeah, this is the northeast up here. This is the southeast over here.
Okay. No, I did not consider going off the back of the garage, only because it would still be, it's not accessible from the main living area.
Wait,
Because
am I
that's the
looking at
garage.
map wrong? I mean, here,
Yeah, so that would be the northeast is what he was saying.
isn't that the northeast corner?
See
Like,
the-
this
see the-
is the northeast.
Yeah, see the
corner.
plan, the
No?
arrow is pointing up
Where's the arrow?
Yeah,
right here.
Oh.
That's north.
So your question is going off of the opposite of the house, the opposite corner.
Like going south of the deck?
here.
Oh, okay. I see where it's at. So he's talking about in the backyard.
Yes,
So over the circle right there.
okay.
Yeah, so
So you
Yeah,
just
so we
not-
only have 12
Go there
feet
within the setback.
over there. And that side is, I mean, there's only 2 more feet of room until you hit the 10-foot. And bringing in a new foundation and all that heavy site work to dig that foundation is gonna cause serious disruptions to the opposite side neighbor, who is also represented here tonight. So I did consider that, but there's a lot of other factors that do play a part in that.
Yeah, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yeah.
One second, Mike. Rob, were you, with that response? Did you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, that's fine.
You're fine.
All set.
Okay, Michael?
The letter of endorsement for that was submitted was from the neighbor across the street. What about the neighbor directly to your left?
She's represented here tonight. That's
Yeah.
Beth McDonald. She lives she will be the one that it would basically be within her 10-foot setback as my neighbor directly to my right.
she's on this
Okay.
side.
They have no concerns about it?
They can speak at the-
Right.
under the public. I
we'll bring
believe
them
they're
in
going to
after.
speak.
Pardon?
We'll bring them in after we
Okay.
finish with the commissioners.
And it wouldn't be in her setback, it would just be close to her.
It
property.
would just be
On
closer to
property.
her property, correct?
That's a tight neighborhood.
Okay,
Tight in, from what I can see, people getting along, but tight with houses close.
Yeah, in both senses of the word.
And I brought up an aerial shot of the neighborhood, if you care to look at it. His house is a lot that's highlighted, and you can see a number of the other houses, with items within the setback.
okay, John, you
Yeah.
had a question?
So you're gonna leave the garage, I guess? Is that what you're saying? You're gonna build off of that foundation for the garage?
Correct.
I don't know if that would meet your code requirements, and that's just a breezeway there, that's
Correct.
may or may not be on a foundation, so you may have some trouble there, but
Okay.
that's not really our purview here, but, so the front of your first floor is gonna look essentially like it does now.
Yes,
You're
that's
gonna have a
correct.
one-car garage and a
Yes.
doorway going in,
Yep.
and then you're gonna have a full second story. My only concern is are you going to exceed the height of the existing house, do you know, or?
No, I actually do have plans. I did have preliminary plans done
Mhm.
and they were submitted, and the roof line basically from the existing house over to where the new second story is gonna be, it's on the same plane. I don't know, I mean, to say that it's in with the same inch, I can't verify that, but it is within the same plane.
Yeah, there's no drop or big thing, and
Yeah,
and it's within the height requirement. for
Couldn't
the
be a
R12.
drop, but I
No,
mean, I
it's-
see a lot of them where they make the addition look too big for
The intent of the design was to stay within the design of the neighborhood and keep, not stand out as an addition. It was to just be minimal.
So what I was gonna say, you said that the house encroached the offset, but really the offset changed and encroached the house, so,
Right.
you know.
That's.
I think that's a hardship. We had another one where someone wanted to put a second story. And so what to answer, the question about how is it,
How is it peculiar?
how is it unfair for the rest of the neighborhood? Because there could be other neighbors in the neighborhood that have two-story houses that are also over that line. And that's what we had on, forget, Homecrest or something, Eric? But
Right,
It
but
may have been.
under the existing case law, change in regulations is not a valid hardship.
Well,
So if you look at Rice v. Old Saybrook,
that's where
that
the,
was a 46-year-old regulation. And the property owner owned it prior to the regulation change. When did you purchase the property?
2020.
So after. So there's cases where an owner who owned the property prior to the regulation change was denied a variance. And so this is even a, this is a less strong argument compared to that. So we're kind of bound by the case law.
Well, that's where the elasticity, what they refer to as elasticity in the regulations, that's what we're here for. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, the neighbor's garage is actually closer to the, further into the 10-foot side yard than yours is. So if they're neighbors, your immediate neighbors, I mean, we can't predict what future neighbors might say, but the back corner of your addition will be proper. It's just that front corner that's gonna be a couple feet over.
Correct.
Personally, don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I don't personally have a problem with it. It's
Well,
just
I
the
mean,
law is what it is.
Well, no, because there is elasticity. That's what's referred to as elasticity. Yeah, there has to be some flexibility. That's what this board is for.
Okay.
Okay.
You can ask Mike Lucas if he has
I
any
was just getting
questions.
ready to
Okay.
ask Mike. Mike, on Zoom, do you have any questions for our applicant? Okay, we're gonna assume that's a no.
We can circle back to.
And, right, okay, so is this the time where I could, hearing no other questions from the commissioners, we would open it up to the guests who might want
To the public,
come
yeah,
up
you
and-
typically you ask anybody that wants to speak in favor or against.
Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor or against the applicant? Would you come forward, please,
Certainly.
and introduce yourself?
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and I own 56 Elton Drive, which is closest to the proposed modification to the home. And all of our houses, as you indicated, were built in the 40s and the 50s when the side yard requirement was different, and it's changed since then. I have an eye for design. And Jeff will tell you, he loves me, but he knows I'm a high maintenance neighbor, that if there's something I don't like, he's gonna know. And my husband is an architect, and Jeff has been very transparent, as has Rachel, about the plan. We've offered them thoughts and feedback about minor things, design ideas. But the thought that he's gonna take the existing footprint of his garage and just go up is not a big deal, guys. And the whole idea of this meeting is it's a variance. It varies from the standard expectation of side yard requirements that were put in place, 20, 30 years after the neighborhood was built. And to your point, yes, our lots are long and narrow, and there's lower side yard clearance and there's deep yards. And we're all aware of that. And what I'm also aware of is we have a lot of young couples moving into the neighborhood. And Jeff is the second one looking to modify the house. The first one already modified his house and brought the footprint of his house closer to his neighbor's side yard as a result of that work. And these are all lovely young couples that have moved into Newington, have chosen Newington not only as a transition into adulthood and as a transition into homeownership, but a place for longevity, to raise their children and welcome their grandchildren into these homes for generations to come. And Rachel and Jeff have made a conscious decision to want to stay in this home and stay in this community and raise their girls here. And I urged them to do something to make the house work for them rather than move, because they're wonderful people and they're wonderful neighbors and they're assets to this community. And I'd hate to see this variance be denied, putting them in the awkward position of having to choose to move rather than become a part of the rich and vibrant fabric of this community that they can contribute so positively to. This is not an issue for me. It is not an issue for my husband, who is an architect and who deals with design and setback and variances and all sorts of things all of the time. And we really hope that you'll have the insight to grant the variance because it really, we've seen the plans, we've seen them in depth. It's a beautiful design. It's not like that horrendous house that was just modified over near Fisk, which shame on anybody for approving that addition. Okay. So I'm hoping that you will get behind him. And if you need to, he has the plans here. It's a lovely, aesthetically pleasing modification to the home that I personally, I'm the one closest to it. I'm aesthetically looking forward to seeing this addition and being able to spend time with him and his family and his lovely girls for decades to come. So thank you.
Thank you. Rose, would you like to come forward?
And then when she's done, I have one I will read into the record as well.
Thank you.
Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive. I can't say much more than Beth has already said. Jeff and Rachel have been in the neighborhood now going on, well, it's over 5 years. He came in August of 2020, right during the pandemic and everything else. Anything that they have ever done in their yard, from taking down a tree to putting up a fence, they've run it by me and I'm guessing by Beth as well. They're very aware of the neighborhood and what is pleasing to their neighbors as well as to themselves. They are the second ones, as Beth said, to put on an addition, and I understand there's another couple looking to do the same thing. Not up, but probably down, different variations. We have now, I would say, 10 children under the age of 5 on our street and another set coming. They love the street so much, it's a dead end. They can get to the center, they can get to the high school. It's a quiet, mostly quiet neighborhood. But, and I can attest to the fact that that garage was there because I'm 80 years old and I moved in when I was 2. So if you want me to bring some pictures of it, I'm sure I have some down in my basement. Anyway, in any case, I hope that you consider his application and grant it, because when he told me he had good news, and that was that Rachel was pregnant, and I said, don't tell me the bad news is that you're moving. And then he said, no, I want to tell you about what we want to do. So they're very upfront and honest. And he asked if I wanted to see the plans. I said, I trust you. And plus Beth and her husband, like you said, she said is an architect. If anybody was going to be the one that would have a complaint, it would be Beth, and she has no complaints, as far as I know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Eric.
I'm also gonna read a email that was received from Adam and Alyssa Lewis at 55 Elton Drive. To whom it may concern, we live at 55 Elton Drive, directly across from Jeff and Rachel of 52 Elton Drive. We have lived here since 2012 and were here when Jeff and Rachel moved in. We appreciate their presence and participation in the warm community of our little dead-end street. We're glad they're here. Since they moved in, their spatial needs have increased as their family has grown. We're thrilled that Jeff and Rachel have found a way to provide space for their growing family without having to leave our community. We have talked together, have reviewed the proposed addition to their home, and we fully support their plans. Please grant them the variance they need so they may move forward without any hindrance.
Thank you.
And that was received October 8th.
Peter?
Would I be able to ask him a question or not? Are we past that?
We haven't closed.
Okay. So if we don't grant you the variance, you're considering moving?
It's a very possible, it's a true possibility, yeah.
Any other questions from?
None.
Oh, John?
Yeah, well, first of all, to Ms. McDonald's point, I mean, he wouldn't have to move if it was denied. He'd just have to pull his addition in a couple feet. That's what one party had to do, which it didn't look too good, to be honest with you. It looked kind of funny when the second floor was, brought in. But to Commissioner Kane's point, I can't imagine anyone winning an appeal on a denied zoning board decision, because it is pretty strict. If you follow the regulations, it's not too many you could say is an ironclad case that would pass a court decision that would say, oh, this should have been approved. There's really the regulations are in favor of the of a denial, almost like you said, you're almost bound to it. But that's again, where I consider the elasticity and all the, you know, all the parts of the, so, again, I would actually like to see if you have that rendition of the profile view of the picture.
This might just be it's actually just a copy of the A2 survey, but they were emailed in. And they could be a part of my full submission. And I have it on the last one.
Let me just see if I can locate them.
And I agree with Ms. McDonald's point about the addition that's been going on, and this board did approve it. I actually recused myself. I had a good reason for it, and I was glad I did, so.
It's a horrendous addition.
I didn't see it yet. I mean, I saw the plan and I wasn't, I was a little concerned. But everyone, this room was filled with people in support of it, so.
I can bring this closer if you need me to.
Yeah, I don't have it up, so I don't have them, so if he wants to bring it over to you, that's fine.
Well, we can move forward with the meeting, right? If he wants to continue to try to look for it, or did he find it?
Yeah, he
You
has.
found it?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
You just have to view it on his laptop, so he
I
can bring,
see.
he can bring the laptop up there and put it
Yeah,
on there.
I'd just like to take a quick look at it.
I think they probably just want to see the elevation.
I was actually able to put it into AI, so it kind of gives you the rendering.
Oh, it's adorable. Okay.
So the addition would be
With the gable going front to back.
correct, and then
Like I said, you may have some issues with the building department, you know, with using that same foundation for 2 stories, but that's not us, so.
Did you get a chance to see it, Mike?
Pardon?
Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, thank you for that, Jeff. So did you have another question, Rob?
Yeah, did you consider applying to the PZC for a text amendment to the zoning regulations? And then that would take care of this problem for all of the houses with garages in the setback?
I did not.
Okay.
Any other commissioners with questions?
Just a comment, as with any other variance request, it's not the property owner that we're concerned about, it's the property. And as long as I understand the regulations, it's the property, it's not the owner that we're concerned about. And as long as the neighbors have no issues, I feel that what the town needs is young, growing families, and this is a good example, in my opinion. And to deny, I think would be, you know, we might lose a good family for 3 feet, in my opinion.
And it's really closest to my
Well, excuse me,
garage.
if you're gonna,
sorry.
no, if you're gonna speak, just come up to the
Come up to the
microphone
mic.
again, that's all,
And
please.
the thing that I would want you guys to keep in mind, and you're not seeing the houses, right? Is the 3 feet makes it 3 feet closer to my garage, which is just a garage. Then I have a side entrance to my kitchen, and then I have the main body of my house with my windows. So our windows, as far as windows that would be on that, it's on the southeast side of of his property, by the way, not the northeast. My windows that face north and his windows that face south would be more than like 25 feet away from each other. So it's not like we're creating a situation where we have windows and windows looking into each other's second floor 7 feet apart. It's not like that at all. I don't feel any invasion of my privacy. And I know that I'm not here forever. So I feel that I'm acting in good stewardship to the future owners of 56 Elton Drive in fully supporting this addition because it's adorable, it's aesthetically pleasing. My husband, as an architect, had nothing but positive things to say about the design. we love Jeff and Rachel. We do not want them to move because the house is too small. Even any effort to put an addition on the other side of the house is really logistically not possible because of what rooms and spaces and things are at that other side of the house. This is the space and the way that makes sense for them. And it's aesthetically pleasing to my husband and me, and we fully support them and hope that you will too.
Thank you.
Can I just say something?
Yes, come forward.
And Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive. As much as I want to keep Jeff and Rachel here, and I agree with what Beth is saying, I'm also hearing from you that, and maybe I'm wrong, that maybe you're concerned about other people on the street wanting to do the same thing and it might come in front of you. No, you don't care. Okay, because it doesn't seem to me, this is kind of a unique situation. Most of the houses, they're close, but the garages aren't it's garages between these two people. And most people, I have a very small space between myself and my next door neighbor. And it's her garage and my garage, and then it's the house. So I'm agreeing with what Beth is saying, not just because I want to keep them in the neighborhood. I think it's good for that to be at this particular time, this particular instance, for them to be given the variance. That doesn't mean that somebody else, shouldn't be denied it. I just don't think it's setting a precedent of any type. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to check with Mr. Lucas again to see if he has any input.
Mr. Lucas, do you have any comments to share? Questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we're all set with, we will close. Can we close?
If you wish to close the public hearing, you may close the public hearing.
Do we need a motion or
I think,
anything?
You would need a motion to close the public hearing, yes. And what you should do is make a motion and then close the public hearing and move it to old business for action this evening, if that's what you choose to do.
So would we consider that our work session? That just occurred?
No, work
Not
session
really.
comes
No,
after
yeah,
that.
No,
No.
okay.
No, you haven't done your work session yet.
Last time we kind of decided before we did all that other stuff.
So, and if I may, before we get, so you would close it, move it to old business. You'd have your work session.
Okay,
You shouldn't act on a work session, just wait till you get to old business and then you can make your formal motions, or
right.
whatever you
because
want to do.
that's the second. Okay. So can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
Okay.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's John. And yes, we can do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Hearing none? Passed. Okay. So next we will move into
Now, there's your work session
the
where you
work
can
session.
discuss.
Mhm.
whatever you-
I honestly don't have anything more to say, so I think we pretty much discussed it all, but someone else has something.
Anything else?
The appropriate legal mechanism to get this done would be a text amendment to the zoning regulations, something like existing garages are accepted from the setback requirements.
But he's not asking just for a garage, he's asking for an addition.
Or sorry,
addition.
additions above garages are accepted from the existing setback.
So
Or second story additions
can you
may
repeat?
be added without
So you're-
complying with
you're-
setbacks.
So please repeat what you're suggesting.
So the appropriate legal mechanism to get this built would require a text amendment to the zoning regulations.
Okay.
But you're saying
Something
one
like-
that wouldn't require an appeal or a zoning board appeal,
Right.
but this is an appeal process, so that's what we're doing here.
If,
Okay.
no, all I can say is there is a mechanism to do a text amendment. Because you applied doesn't mean the planning and zoning commission has to approve that either. Because they're gonna look at how it affects. if-
Every property in town.
In that, if we're looking at specifically the R12 zone, actually, they're gonna, how's that gonna affect all the R12 zone properties in town, not just one individual's.
Yeah.
So they look at the bigger picture. For zoning board of appeals, it's a case by case basis, as most you're aware, so. That mechanism is there, yes, it's time consuming. It's usually a 3 to 6 month process. Because public hearings and everything else, the public can speak in favor or against of a text amendment. Someone has to draft that amendment. because town staff does not always do that. If requested by the Planning and Zoning Commission, we would. But typically, somebody has to hire an attorney, draft that motion, move forward through the process.
And I don't think it would be very successful because it's basically negating what they already did to make that, to change that to a 10-foot side yard. So I don't think there would be much hope of that being changed, in my opinion.
So for the text amendment, everyone in town would be able to talk on that.
Yeah, there would be a public hearing, there would be a proposal, whoever makes a proposal to the
Policy
commission.
change.
And they go through the process, we have to send it to CROG, they review it. There's public hearing posted, anyone can speak for or against, or, whatever the issues they think are. And the Planning and Zoning Commission can keep the hearing open for a couple meetings. And then vote and make a decision. Just like you guys vote and make a decision, and it is what it is. They ultimately could deny it or approve it.
It's like a policy change though.
Yes, it's a change to the regulations. You are the zoning board of appeals, so when they're trying to vary the regulations, that's what a variance is. You're varying whatever the regulations are.
But would we need to have a motion here to do that, to move, to change the policy?
That's
No, it
outside
has
of
nothing
our-
to do with zoning board of appeals.
It doesn't,
No.
okay. But would we leave this open? And have to,
If you're not acting on whether you're going to tell them to go do this or that, you're acting on the application before you, whether you approve it or deny it.
understand
If you deny it, he has that avenue to pursue.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't-
just, sorry.
okay. I guess I didn't understand the steps. I thought
Mhm.
maybe that the change in the policy would have to come first. before-
Mr. Kane's position obviously is they should try that avenue first
Yes.
before coming to us, I believe
Right.
is.
So
Okay,
the desire to expand your property is a self-created hardship. So under Varillo and DuPont, it's just not legal. It's contrary to law.
mhm.
So, I mean, you guys can vote however you want. I'm not the legal counsel for the board. I do practice zoning law, but if you need a legal opinion, you have to talk to the town attorney. I'm just here as a member, so.
Right. It is challenging. I mean, I see from both sides. But I do, and this is, I'm speaking for myself, and in terms of what I've seen before us and over the last couple of years, that it varies. It's almost case by case. And-
As it should be.
Anyone could go either way.
Right, and I think that we have considered hardships for personal use.
Right.
So we have a past practice of doing such. And then we do look at the setbacks and determine whether or not it's feasible or if there are other options, so. I think we can
So-
go forward and, well, go ahead. Did
So
you
my
want-
concern is when I asked what is peculiar about the land,
Yes,
his response was the change in the regulations essentially. So the problem is we just need something to latch onto so we can approve it. So the fact that he said there's space in another part of the yard and that the thing that was peculiar was the change in regulations, that's not giving us something, you have to give us something to work with to approve it. And
Okay.
that doesn't really meet the bar.
right,
So the fact that the thing that's in his favor is that the footprint is already there. So that space has already been taken. So he's talking about encroaching in airspace, not in land space. So it's an aerial encroachment, if you want to call it that. Maybe that's not the right term, but because the footprint is already occupied that space, we can't make them give it back. So it's always going to be there. It's always, that corner of that garage is always going to be 2 feet over the line, so. And I think it would be arbitrary to not allow it because, and this was the case that I brought up with the one that we denied
Mhm.
on, was it Homecrest or
I think it
whatever?
was Homecrest,
Yeah.
actually.
And because there's other houses right on the street that have 2-story, that were built before they changed the zoning. So that's when I came up with the point that seems arbitrary to not allow this person to do the same thing that what the neighbor next door has.
So how do we change zoning regulations? If everyone is can just
No,
use
we
the
don't.
old ones.
We've had two applications in 4 or 5 years, for this. So I don't think that the.
You can just choose to apply the old regulations forever?
No, it's some elasticity and some, one we denied
Is that
and we don't know how this one's gonna go. So right now it's one was denied. I voted for it anyway in that case,
I
but
mean, if I was on PCC, I would vote in favor of his text amendment. It's very reasonable. I think that's why you're inclined to approve this, because it makes sense that everyone in town with an existing garage and setback should be able to build up. Right? Everyone in town with a garage and existing setback should be able to build up.
That's a burdensome
So it should be a
process.
text amendment.
That's definitely not a guarantee, and that's probably a year-long ordeal to get something like that to go through.
Okay, Mike?
Yeah, I think the thing that, makes me want to consider it favorably is the fact that the neighbor that testified that lives next door, it's garage to garage, it's not window to window. And again, 3 feet, in my opinion, in that close neighborhood, it's not a concern. Thank you.
And I just,
Peter had a question.
Peter, go ahead.
Is the current garage over the line?
Yeah, it's by, it shows in the survey where it's, well, I think 7.3
So it's already
feet.
like violating the regulations? Okay.
But
And
again, the
that's-
garage was built,
Yeah.
when it was originally constructed, it met the 5-foot requirement. And when it was rezoned the first time, I think it went to 7 feet, then to 10. I cannot remember for sure.
And so if I understand this correctly, the idea is that you're building above the garage, which was already a full encroaching.
That is
into
correct.
The setback.
And I think as I discussed, I believe it was at the Homecrest application, there are towns that have allowances for second-story additions in this. Basically, what a number of towns say is like, you can project your roof line from your existing home over to that, and you could build up to that. And they have that in the regulations. We don't have anything about that within the regulations.
Also, some towns actually have.
Some towns do have language in the regulations to say, basically, yes, you can build up and meet the existing roof. the pitch
Only
of
if
the
you have an
existing roof.
existing situation
Exactly.
there already.
So
footprint.
if that.
So that might be something that you might get through TPZ,
Yeah,
but
let me
not,
see if I.
not
oh,
the
sorry.
blanket statement that you were talking about, but that anyone could encroach into the 5-foot setback, but something like that would be something that you might, be successful with in TPZ. But again, that's quite a burdensome thing. If I just might add one more thing, part of the hardship, I don't know if you'd call it a hardship, but part of the situation here is if you look, the back corner of the addition is right on the line. But because this property is somewhat pie shaped, that kind of, that's what pushed that front corner into it too. So the back corner is at the 10
Yeah,
feet.
the shape of the lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's not a square lot.
The pie shape, yeah. So I think to Commissioner Kane's point, I don't think anyone would ever be able to pass, would ever be able to get an appeal through, because if you were so rigid with the regulations or with the case law and all that, no appeal would ever be passed. And if someone tried to appeal it to the courts, I don't think they would ever have a chance because it's,
Right. When you say
everything's
appeal, do
against
you
them.
mean, when you say appeal, do you mean variance application?
A variance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, variances are supposed to be extremely difficult to get.
Mhm.
That's
Especially if you're asking
it's
for,
supposed to be very, very hard to get a variance.
yeah, if you was asking for 10 feet variance, that's, we're talking about one corner of this, wall, which you could tell us what the total square footage is, but again, it's already occupying the space though, so no one's gonna lose any more land.
I think in the past, we had some concerns about, setting a precedent here at the appeals. And that might be something that conditions should be brought back to the TPZ to reassess the zone.
So as far as precedence goes, each ZB application variance request is heard on its own merits. You don't, just because you approve one doesn't mean you have to approve another. It is a case by case basis. I understand, you get that feeling, oh, well, we approved that and that's fine.
Yeah, in reality, there is a precedence though, because if the neighbor came tomorrow and asked for the same thing,
Right.
it'd be kind of hard to deny them.
If you know, after you take action on this tonight or table it until the next meeting, you know, we can have a discussion about something that you may want to inquire with the TPZ about to, in the future, fix some regulation.
Because I think I heard from one of our guests that there was another family that's thinking about enhancing their property as well. Doing some
Yeah, and again, I haven't seen a plan, so I don't know what
Right.
it is. It
No, I
it may
know,
be
I
perfectly
understand,
fine,
but
yeah.
I think this is gonna come up again, and I think that we might wanna look into something, so we have better guidelines, you know, in the future. Peter?
I remember a few meetings back, you said that if we should review the planning and zoning, like the map of Newington. And if we see anything that like we believe could cause like variance issues coming up, we should probably like recommend to the TPZ to
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah, you
Is that a
can,
process that we can do like after?
you guys can workshop that at a meeting sometime and just kind of go through regulations and say, hey, what are key triggers? What do we get variances for mostly? Stuff like that. And, you know, you can kind of consider it. Does TPZ, I can, if you come up with some ideas, I can certainly draft a memo and we can move forward with that. But that's a conversation for another time, but
Okay.
so I
Okay,
don't want to take
thank
away
you
from the
for that.
applicant.
Okay, I think we've exhausted the work session. Just want to make sure, any other questions, anybody? Okay, so then we're gonna close the work session and move into,
Now we just have the approval of the minutes from the prior meeting.
right, it's just gonna say that. So, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the September 4th?
Yes.
Okay, so can I get a motion to
Move to accept the
approve the
minutes.
minutes?
No.
No?
Can we fix the spelling of my name?
Oh. Okay,
Can you just-
Motion?
Just let it know for the record so she can correct it.
Can you
How,
give a
how is
spelling?
it spelled? Not
Yes.
what, not, oh, you said it's not Kane. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Can you let me know?
CAN. CAN.
Okay, so if you make the motion just with the correction as per Mr. Kane.
Okay, so we'll make a motion
I
for the
move to-
correction.
To move the minutes with the corrections.
Okay,
Second.
Any second? Okay, all approve?
Aye.
Okay, any
Aye.
against? Okay, thank you. Okay, that is approved. All right, next is communications and reports.
I have nothing new in interest for the board this evening.
Okay. So now we would move into new business.
Yeah, and you moved it to old business, so that's fine.
So we'll
Said to
move-
fix the slides.
Okay, so we'll move into old business, right?
Mhm.
And Eric, you want to reread the application?
Old business ZBA 25-3 requesting a variance of 3 feet from section 4.5 table A of the NZR Newington zoning regulations to reduce the side yard setback on the southerly side of the house from 10 feet to 7 feet for a second story building addition to an existing garage at 52 Elton Drive in the R12 zone. Applicant owner Rachel D. and Jeffrey Ossick. Contact Jeffrey Ossick.
Thank you.
This may have been better for the work session, but can we still make some comments?
You can make some comments.
Well, the one thing I was thinking of, and maybe this would add a little bit of piece to the process, that we're only approving it for this addition, so it's only that pie slice of that side yard setback. We're not granting 3 feet from front to back.
So if you read my suggested motion, I make that point clear that it is only for the addition and not the entire side yard.
But not even the whole addition though, because he's
Right, it's just for
in
that,
this image, it's depicting just a half of that space. Really, it's about 50% of what it would be if you drew a 3-foot line parallel to that side yard.
So we're gonna move into, I need a motion for.
if someone wants to make a motion, yes. And just so we're all clear up front, the applicant does need 4 votes for approval.
Okay, so Peter, would you?
So I move to grant a 3-foot variance to reduce the required side yard setback on the south side of the property at 52 Elton Drive from 10 feet to 7 feet to allow a 25.3 foot x 12.4 foot. Second story building addition to the existing garage. This variance is for the addition only and does not reduce the entire side yard setback to 7 feet.
And I would just add the condition that it's only for that pie shaped part of that addition. I don't know how you would work, how you'd word that, but just in case, someone said, oh, we want to build it, 3 feet over the whole way, which would be twice the encroachment.
You guys will have to draft something for that if you don't like the way the
Or
motion is
just,
worded.
just the way that it's, the drawings in the application are depicted.
You
I
can,
mean, I don't have a problem with the way it's written, but I mean, does anyone else?
No, I'm just saying, if you wanted to ensure that, that the least amount of encroachment ever occurs, then you would,
so this is just me, I'm not a member. You could say,
just the way it's depicted in the.
or second story building addition as depicted on the submitted plan.
Okay.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I mean, you'll have to amend your motion if that's what you're gonna do.
So I'd like to amend my motion to move to grant a 3-foot variance to reduce the required side yard setback on the south side of the property at 52 Ella Drive from 10 feet to 7 feet to allow a 25.3 x 12.4 foot second story building addition to the existing garage. This variance is for the, for this last sentence, so I can. This variance is for the addition only,
Second story addition only, as
As
depicted on the submitted
as-
plan.
as depicted on the submitted plan, and does not reduce the entire side yard setback to 7 feet. Is that?
That's what I was thinking, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I think that satisfies it.
Give me just a second though.
Okay,
I'll second it.
Seconded.
thank you. Can we
One
vote?
second. You should state reasons on the record after your vote, after the vote for either the approval or denial, however it goes.
And I would have to do it because I made the motion.
No, I'm just, in general, it can come from anybody.
Okay, well, first we need a roll call, don't we?
So not
for the
not
vote?
each individual has to give a.
Correct, yeah, you can just, yeah, correct, that's true. So yes, it'll be a roll call vote. And it is a motion to approve.
All right,
Commissioner Bashad,
Yes.
Commissioner Donald,
Yes,
Chairman Dunning,
yes,
Commissioner Lucas.
He's not voting this evening.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Kolakowski,
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Nope.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
congratulations.
And then.
So-
So the reasoning, you want a reason? Still?
Just,
I mean,
have
we
to-
discussed all the reasons. I
Okay,
think it should be
I'll
part of the record.
extrapolate it and, yeah, and go with that too. Okay.
All right, I think there's no other business under old business. Other than
No,
that,
there is
and
not.
So now we just
So-
need to.
Why, I'm just curious, why did that come out as new business there?
It's just the way the slides were. It was
Hmm.
my fault on my end. It's usually,
comes under
because the
old
public
business.
hearing, sometimes you'll leave it open
Oh,
and it would
okay.
just stay a new business. So if you close it and move it to old business, I can put it on both, but then it becomes confusing sometimes too. So it's kind of hard to judge how it's gonna go.
Mhm.
Sometimes I try and guess and I'll just start putting it under both in the future. Now, when we get to, say, you've already moved to old business, so we'll just carry on. Just to make it
Okay.
simpler.
Just,
So
I'll
we
just
just
add,
need,
well, just add one thing that, Commissioner Kane's point of the approaching TPZ. It's not a big issue for me, but, since Eric mentioned that it is actually in some towns' regulations that properties that have a footprint already
Mhm.
encroached in a side yard. Not one that's been done by appeal, but one that's been done because the side yard setback was changed. That seems like a no-brainer, that may be something that would be easier to pass than originally just across the board change to that.
And you
regulation.
guys can consider that and I can, again, draft a memo to TPZ and say, hey, this is a request from ZBA to
Consider.
to consider and to reduce the number of applications that the ZBA receives.
Say it's a demand from.
A demand, we can do it that way.
Because I would be in support of that.
And that's fine. And that's the
I would be in
idea.
support of that.
If you recall, a number of years, I think
Makes sense.
John and Sharon were still on the commission. when we had all the issues with the mechanicals. That had to be 10 feet and we reduced it to 5. And TPZ bought into that because we had 3 or 4 applications in 1 year for those.
Right.
So they're like, okay, yeah, makes sense, and they move forward. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. Any regulation amendment takes time, public hearings and et cetera, et cetera. And if we do get to that point, I would certainly state that you guys should go in support of that regulation amendment before the planning and zoning commission and speak in favor or against whatever you. And you're welcome to that, any public hearing at planning and zoning on a text amendment that you think may affect you negatively or positively, you can go speak. Sorry.
Okay, so,
I move to adjourn.
right, thank you. Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, we are adjourned. Okay, so,
Crazy.
yeah, I think.
Not with ZBA, we don't, they only do it once.
That has-
I'll have to write an email.
Thank you for letting me keep my neighbor.
No problem.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Have a great night.
Thank
Just to be
you.
clear, I'm really glad